5 years after we got the animated masterpiece The Lego Movie, it's time to get a sequel, after of course 2 other spin-offs and a cinematic universe. So now it's time to sit down and give my serious thoughts on a kids movie based off of a toy product. Without being too elaborate, I thought it was really good. Not great, and not as good as the first, but good. If you are a lover of kids movies and refuse to believe that you have matured yet, I definitely recommend it, especially if you loved the first one like I did. As a film, it is critically one of the best I've seen this year. The animation is once again beautiful, and its unique CGI stop motion holds up against the other films in the genre. The talented voice cast returns to give the characters life again, and we get a few new fun additions to the crew like Tiffany Haddish and Stephanie Beatriz. The story focuses more on Wild style rather than Emmett this time around, and it leads to some very interesting character development that you wouldn't think a sequel would bring. Also, the story managed to stay unpredictable. I thought I had it all figured out about halfway through the film, but Lord and Miller reminded me in the third act that this wasn't just any ordinary animated film with a twist that wasn't anything special but still surprised me. On the negative side of things, this film wasn't as fun or as vibrant as the first one. Although it had notably more musical numbers, not something I was necessarily a huge fan of. It's colorful, yes, but I don't feel as good watching it if that makes any sense at all. To go along with that, the added character development for Emmett and Wildstyle take away from all the other characters, which leads to a very one-sided character affair. Overall, the Lego Movie, the second part, manages to stay fun and exciting, but as a whole, it just feels less fresh and reinvigorating as the first one was. I try not to penalize it too much though, because it's likely that no version of this film could be released that would be as good as the first. If you're looking for a fun time where you can turn off your brain and watch a kids movie, which we all need sometimes, then this is definitely something I would recommend. Final score for the Lego Movie, the second part, 8.3 out of 10. So, I've been anticipating this film for a long time. Just to give you an idea of the dysfunctional atmosphere of Alita Battle Angel, the first trailer I saw for it was at a January showing of Star Wars The Last Jedi, almost a year and a half ago. Yet for some reason I went and saw it. Needless to say, it wasn't great. The experience itself was fun, but the film, not so much. The acting was pretty good from the main leads, but nothing worth writing home about. The visual effects stand out among everything else though, and are some of the best I've seen in a while. Other than that, there was nothing very good about this movie at all. On the negative side, it was ironically one of the blandest films I've seen in a while. The irony lying in the fact that despite it being an extremely colorful and great looking film, I can't remember much about it at all. I know the main character's name is Alita, she has a boyfriend named Hugo, Mahershala Ali is the bad guy, and that's about all. Besides that, I can remember that it was a mess. The plot was all over the place, I don't even remember half of it, and it seemed like James Cameron and Robert Rodriguez had no clue what they were doing. They just wrote down ideas, built on them about as well as a middle schooler could, and then spent millions of dollars on it. All in all, I don't hate this film. It's hard to hate something that you can't remember half of. That being said, I have to acknowledge the fact that this is a big jumbled up mess. Unless you're a 12-year-old girl having a sleepover without Netflix, then I suggest you spend your hard-earned money somewhere else. Final score for Alita Battle Angel, 4.3 out of 10.